All right, folks, we've got Daniel Cheung here on the Trading Nut YouTube channel. Welcome, Daniel, to the show. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think nearly like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Daniel's been he was on my 52 Traders podcast, which was my old podcast, episode 30 and episode 130, and we saw the sort of evolution of you across those two episodes, which I think were about a year apart. So the last one was February 2018, and here we are just at the, I'm outside of lockdown. You're still in lockdown in the coronavirus pandemic. So whenever anyone watches this in the future, that's when we're recording it. So how have things been in the past couple of years, Daniel?
Yeah, it's been pretty good and pretty crazy, I'd say. A little bit of a roller coaster. On the forefront, trading's had a little bit of a back foot, but I've built a property business ever since because of trading, which is really, really lucky and fortunate. And then I guess the two biggest updates is I got married and then got my dream house. So can't complain, really. Can't complain.
Yeah, nice. And so for those that don't dive back straight away and check out the old episodes, and I do recommend to do it, and I'll put the links under the show notes here or under the video here. Do jump back because Daniel's one of the guys that my mentor, my old mentor, Andre Stewart, said, look, this guy helped me out big time when I was struggling. He helped me out big time. So please, if he's managed to help Andre out, who's gone on to great things, then he's worthwhile listening to today. So look, Daniel, over to you, fella. You're going to walk us through some stuff here that the guys I'm sure are going to love.
So I just want to quickly say, obviously, Andre's situation, I think, is motivational for someone, just like a quick little bit about him, for someone else who's either in a similar situation to grow off of. He was really struggling at that time financially, emotionally, and everything. Obviously, at that time, I was offering a service. He couldn't afford to, so that's how I took him in. From that, he took every ounce of knowledge. He put all the hard work and graft in, made it his own, which is the most important thing in trading, I think, is you understand all the basics, the tools, how someone trades, make it your own. And then 3 years later, now look at him. He's trading with a group. He's free, and he's, most importantly, he's happy and healthy. So it's really, really, really good to see Andre at that space right now. And it makes me feel like amazing because I feel like not only did I help him, but he appreciated it. And I think appreciation and gratification is much more important than money can ever buy. And obviously, as I get older in life, I find that as well. So yeah. Right. So I think, like me and Cam said, I'm going to literally go through a little bit of the basics of how I trade and my philosophy and my approach to the market. And hopefully this can add some values to some people in trading. And then I'll go through a trade I took today because that's relevant and it helps. And then how you can develop from there. So in terms of trading, ultimately, I always go with riding the wave. So trend is your friend. I only want partial of the movement is probably the best way to put it. So as an example, if we go on to like the daily time frame, I always go from top down analysis. So what that means is you go from top all the way down. So like monthly, weekly and daily, etc. Now, in my opinion, it's a $5 trillion market in and out a day. I only want X amount of pips a day or X amount of money per day. And I'm not trying to get the pinpoint A and pinpoint B, which I think maybe some people have that trouble. If you can do it, fair enough. But I don't really see the point of it because you limit your win rate ratio and the stress that's caused to it as well. So what I mean by that is, say, for example, let me just probably find a better move. These are probably not so good because of the coronavirus. But if we say we know that straight away from this, it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to say that, there we go, that this is on an uptrend, right? So if this is an uptrend, all I'm really trying to do is ride the wave, because the fact is, why would I try and go against the market? The market's always right. That's the first thing I ever learned in trading. The market is always right. It doesn't matter if I think it's going to come down and speculate, it's going to come down and be like 100 pips south, I'm going to go bulls dip. It doesn't matter. The market is always right. Even if it wicks you out and hits your stop loss and you cry about it, the market doesn't really care. The market is always right. That is a lesson that I think was a really big hit for me on my very, very early days, like 5 years ago. And I have to tell certain people that still to this day, don't cry about your losses or anything like that, or, trades that you've missed, like even like a pending I missed the other day. The market is always right. So what can I take from the market is always right? So I would rather just follow it. following it and just trying to grasp a few pips here and there to compound my bankroll. Obviously, the whole point of trading is, as much as I enjoy it, is for the money aspect too, right? To compound my bankroll to live a happy and free life is probably the best way to put it. So if we know this is on an uptrend, that's my first bias. Okay, so that's tick number one. I'm looking for something just to join the wave to go on the upside. If we start, I don't really want to clear all of this, but do you know what? Because I can redraw all of these, I can, because I'm good at it. So if we go back to the uptrend, if, for example, we know, so I'm not going to go through this. So if you guys can Google support and resistance, because I'm sure that is a very open thing you can find on baby pips or even previous ones. So straight away, I've got some zone areas and some lines. That took me like 2 seconds. Okay, so I know that this is on an uptrend. There's previous zones that I tested. I know where price is roughly going to go. Okay, doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. Okay, so going back to the market, it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. I'm assuming that because it's given me an uptrend, I'm going to assume this is going to continue. So from here, we've got a test on this previous zone, that uptrend. Simple basics again, which a lot of people forget. We're making higher highs and higher lows. Oh, can you still hear me? Internet
Yeah,
connection?
I can still hear you. I froze there for about 5 seconds.
Okay, hopefully.
I think that the Zoom will be picking it up. It's just my machine's just screwed.
I can see your frustration on your machine. So yeah, like it's making higher highs and higher lows. They, like, if we put, actually we'll exclude the Fibonacci, but if we even put a Fibonacci in as well, we're coming on to 50%. So straight away, this trade here, okay, just to break it down, I know this will be easy, like me and Cam were talking about this. I know this will be easy for me, like for you to see because I'm explaining it, but I will talk about how to develop from there. From this, you can see that there's a 50% on this retracement. Okay, so anything above 61.8, we're looking at a continuation on the upside. That's one of the rules of the fib. We've got a zone here as well, which is the previous low, which is number 2. The market is on an uptrend, okay, because we're making higher highs and higher lows. Fair enough, this is on a little bit of a pullback, okay. And then for me, I'm on the trend line as well on here. So what really and truly from this point onwards, we can see that the price has an opportunity. I'm not saying the price is going to, has an opportunity to come to 12,400 or even 12,600. Okay, so that is the route, the pinpoint route, let's call it. So we know that point A to point B, I'm expecting this to come to here. Now moving forward, going back to what I said at the start, I'm not looking to get all of this to this. All I really want to do, and this is just my approach in the market, is to get, maybe if I, for example, if I look at this point here, but I can't even remember what happened after, but I do know it comes up to here. So if it breaks this, maybe this region, retest and goes up, then
can you zoom in on that bit, Daniel, just like so that people can maybe bring it to the center of the screen and have a look?
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do this. Okay.
We're a bit more to the center.
The lower time frame. So first of all, we call it 1678. The reason, just to explain why I'm picking this point, is because previous 1-2 test, break here, failed break, and then once more here, which you can see in this region here, and then once more here, then break, come back and retest. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the moment, 6 times 26. This one's maybe a little bit ugly, but maybe in a lower time frame that will hit perspective. So before I go in a lower time frame, I'm looking to retest this and then have a continuation. Okay, and I'll block this in. Now I've got to redraw on this chart after. Hope you see my love for you, Cam. There we go. Okay, so what did I just say? I said in this point here, it's touched. Okay, failed to break. 1, 2, failed to break. I'm looking for a continuation of the trend because I want to join the market. I want to just make sure that I can get a few pips from A to B. I don't need to have all of it. Okay, I only want a very small sum. So we know that I'm expecting from 11,382 to 12,600. All I really want is a confirmation. A confirmation meaning that it's not going to break lower because it has broke the trend line there. So it could be a fake out. But because I'm looking at to break on that previous resistance or support line, I call it a zone line. If it breaks there and then retests there, then I'm looking for anywhere between 12,400. Okay, that's just an example of a trade. Okay, this is really simple setups. There are many, many different types of trading setups. There are many different types of trading ways. What's important is you need to find your niche, your unique, and see what works for you, and then go from there. So if I was to zoom in on this, you can see that moving on, we broke up, retested it, broke, faked out again, broke. This one would have been a perfect entry. Whether I probably, in all honesty, if I was looking at this trade live, I might have failed maybe once or twice, but I still would have went for the third one because it was clean. And if my risk to reward ratio, even if I get 1 out of 3 right, I still would have banked on this trade. So if we look at the risk to reward ratio,
that was quite interesting, because I was always wondering, like, would you, because those fake outs can really get you going, but you just carry on. You're just like, okay, I'll take the next one. I'll take the next one. At what point do you stop and go, okay, I think this is just ranging now?
So have a rule. So for example, trade becomes void, right? So if the thing is, I would have, let's have a look. If I played this and looking at it, I would have 1, 2. Okay, so I would have tried once here, probably, maybe either, I don't know. Probably would have tried once here. So this would have been a fail by the looks of it. And I would have had my stop loss here, because I have my stop loss pretty tight, to be fair, these days. And then I just avoid the trade if not. Then it would have came down, retested, and then this would have really piqued my interest on this first bar, this green bar here. It's a bit messy now because I've got everything. So if I just delete these and I'll put them back in a minute. This bar here would have really piqued my interest. So I would have made a loss on this one. This bar here would have really piqued my interest, because if we're looking at all the lines I previously drew, we've got, this is the region I'm looking for it to break. Okay, retest here. So technically the entry's here and then on and away, or here, on and away. But because of this bar here, I had a break from here. That's where I made my loss. Because it pulled back, I'm expecting, if this pullback was correct, it should have really continued and made a new low. Does that make sense? Because this is a zone as well. I don't know if you can see that zone with your eye. I know I kind of sometimes just expect people to see zones because I'm so used to seeing it. But like, the fact is, this is a zone because you've got a break here. This bit sits on it, comes up again, breaks here, sits on it again in this lower time frame right here, right? Because don't forget, this is 4 hours. So if we zoom in again, just to make life a bit easier for everyone, I just got to find it. There we go. So when see, look at that. So suddenly, as soon as you zoom in to lower time frames, these zones I'm talking about seem to respect a lot better. Look at that, spot on. And then break down here, wick, double wick, up again. And I just drew this, about 2 seconds ago? Yeah. And again, wick right through, stop loss hunt right there. Broke all the way through with a continuation on the next bar. And then look again, come back up to the zone, break, zone. Okay. Now, this is the area I was talking about. The fact that 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, okay, that looks really good for a short. Okay, but I wouldn't have taken this short because my overall, this is the whole point of the top-down analysis, right? Yeah. And market always correct. So now I'm putting everything together, okay, which you cannot forget the basics. The fact that the market is always right and my overall top-down analysis and bias is on the uptrend, why do I even want to take that short? Like, do you know what? If it breaks, then maybe that would change my mindset. Maybe it's a reversal. Then I reevaluate and then go to the drawing board and then re-attack the market the next day to see what happens if today sets. I don't need to chase that because right now for me, I want to go long. I've hit one loss because this 1 week down. The fact that this broke up and then sits on this region again makes me very interested to see, okay, wait a minute. Now, this zone is holding very well. It's shown in the past, and that's the proven. It's failed to break. It's failed to pull back. Even this did a new low, breaking this one. Okay, is that a stop loss hunt? It's still making higher lows now, right? So that looks really good for a continuation. So my entry on my second attempt could have been anywhere between here. This is the swing terms, or here. They're the two types of trade. And just to kind of, hopefully you can see it, yet again, I'm expecting you to see it, is this one broke through, came back, retested, I would have put my stop loss below here, right? Because if it makes a lower low, then I'm wrong, right? But then if I don't take that one and it comes through, it goes, oh yeah. Then I expect to break again, but it doesn't. Shoot straight up. Let's say, okay, hypothetically, shoot straight up. Then I'll set a pending, previous high again. Look at that, pulls you right in.
Ah, right. Okay, so yeah. So you're in again.
There's different ways to attack the market now. Okay. Now this maybe goes a little bit deeper, and I'll probably save that for another video. However, we've broken it down. So just to reiterate and make this very, very layman's term, because I am a layman's person, is we now know my approach is we're looking for the trend, top-down analysis. Market's always right. Okay, I understand that. Number two, I've drawn my zones. Okay, I'm looking at the uptrend. I've got my zones that I'm looking to kind of go through. This area is really key as well. Oh, going off of that, we're sitting in between the fibs as well. Hasn't broke through 50. So this one here still hasn't broke through 88 or anything. So it still looks good. Previous low tested, looking on a higher high. I initially said that I want this one to break, retest, and then break through into structure. 1600 was the height, but I only and truly want anywhere between there. And even if so, right, even if so, this is where it gets really interesting, in my opinion. Now, if you start doing the math, I don't want to open up a spreadsheet, but if you start doing the math, actually, I made a video to plug myself in. You can see the win to reward ratio. So say you took anywhere on this trade, we already know that from here we're expecting it to come to 12,400, 12,600. Now this is to hone you guys down humbly, really and truly humbly. If you have a 1 to 2 win rate ratio, you can have 50% and still make money. That's thinking you only need to win 1 out of 2 trades and you'll still make money in the long run. That's a 1 to 2, right? Imagine if you start taking 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, but your risk is the same throughout. Think about that compound effect. Think about how that's going to really add up. Let's say 1400. We don't get greedy. We go for anywhere previous here. This is a previous zone. I can tell in a lower time frame. Let's say we're happy with this one. That there is still a 1 to 4.71. The previous one is still a 1.2, 1 to 2 ratio. Do you see?
Yeah.
All I'm doing is to these lines. It's so simple when I explain it, but what makes it so difficult for people to follow this, which is really truly risk management, greed, not knowing your niche, and not following one setup. I've been a victim of it. You know, you go on, you like, which is why I've stopped looking at it earlier on in my days. You see, you do your trade, you've had a good day. You go on Instagram, go on social media. Some guy sitting on his Lambo. And then you think, oh, I should do another trade. Then you lose it and give it all back. Stick to your process, compound it, and think about the future. And the thing is, like I had this little rant earlier, is like from these people on Instagram and things like that, they might not be traders. They might be very good business people. They might have made their money from property. They might have made their money from any sorts of instant. Who cares? But the thing is, why are you chasing to master a craft for materials? So you can't be a master trader for a Lambo. You want to be a master of money for Lambo. That's a different story. Does it make sense? You want to follow a trader who trades to learn how to trade, to make money, to buy the Lambo, as an example, right? So it's the thought process now, which I'm talking about, which is the development. Okay, so that's an example of how I trade. And then what better is, just because I have done that as an example in the past, let's give you a prime example of today. All right, no better option than a real life trade, which I took. And if you want to go to the Telegram that Cam has, I posted in Cam's Telegram why I took that trade.
I can vouch for that.
And also in my own one, I posted my trade as well. Let's have a look. So really, really simple, right? This is so dead simple. This is why I didn't even have to think twice about deleting my own charts, even though I spend every Sunday doing it. But the things I do for you, Cam, I'll do it. So look, going back again, market structure, okay? Uptrend. Fair enough, it had a massive COVID drop, different story, but at the moment, uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows. Price is basic. Market, direction, top-down analysis, okay? Now we go into 4 hours. I've been trading this, so I know, and DAX has always been my baby. So I know this has been sitting in this region for a very long time, okay? I've banked off of this region. right? So same thing. If we go back to, I know from it's going to go from point A to point B, but I don't need the whole point from A to B. I only need a small portion of that. Then we're looking good, right? So if we know if we're going to go up and down into this zone, what do we want? Like, I know it's easy to look back on this, but then if it's easy to see this, then why can't you implement it without being harsh? Because this is to get you thinking. If we start going in, we know it's going to go through. Right, say here, we can start seeing, okay, this is pretty good now. You know, this region's setting up. I could set a pending here, right? For example, if I set a pending and we call it, this wants to work, and we call it, I know, even though I know it's going to come to this lower point, right? Let's just say something like that, like a 1 to 2, 1 to 3. This is agreed now. Let's move over. Okay, hill. Right, I don't know what happens, so hopefully, and we're in. Fair enough, still sits in. This would have been a really hard thing to swallow because it comes through, then it sits through, and then we hit. Right, and what's that? Let's have a look what that trade is. That's a 1 to 3. So 1 to 3, I only need 30% win rate to make money. 30% win rate. I only need 3 trades out of 10 to make money.
And had you taken the next one where the wick was longer and been stopped out, I mean, what was the what would you have done then?
So for me, this one, I would have actually probably missed that because I would have actually tried to go for this.
Right.
Because it came through down here. You see what I mean? Because I'm waiting for the zone here. And if it doesn't, then to me, from previous experience, this could break. But then, you're not wrong. I could have failed here, or I could have went in this one. But then, let's say, okay, because I don't want to say that I wouldn't. Let's just say I did, and I lose. Fair enough, okay? So let's say I'm risking £10, £100 per trade. That one I made £300. Okay, now I lose £100. I'm £200 now, right? Profit still. Let's go again. Well, there you go. Suddenly again, what's that? 3? Let's call that another £300. I'm up £500.
Yeah.
Out of three trades, the power of risk to reward, the power of risk management, and I'm in this at the moment still from here because 1, 2, 3, 4. I expect the 5th one to either break or death, and I've got 2 positions on this. So I already took one out, which is to secure profits in the day, and then the next one I'm looking just to ride out a little bit. So you know. That's a proven trade, proven live, so simply put, and such a basic trade. And the thing is, anyone can do this. The only reason that's stopping people from doing this is now I'm going to go on to the development side is your approach to the market. One of the reasons I stopped teaching is because everyone was so like, I always joke about it, but can I turn £1 into £1 million? Like, what kind of mindset is that? Like it's okay, it's true. That's cool. If that's you, you do you. But I'm not that type of person because I've experienced it. I've tried it. Do you know what? Guilty, hands up. I wanted that too, right? But I knew I'm not going to get to where I want to be with that if I continue like that because you're just gambling on red all the time and it hits green and black. So, you know, you got to kind of come to terms. I'm optimistic but realistic at the same time. Shoot for the sky. If you fall short, you're still better than when you first started. So develop by really understanding why can't you see that? Are you journaling? Are you doing more than me? Because technically you're trading against me, right? Are you doing more work than me? Are you doing more work than the opposition? Are you better than you was yesterday? And most importantly, risk management. Like that is probably every professional trader always talks about risk management. So if everyone's talking about it, why are you not focusing on it? So, you know, just to conclude on that, I hope that helps. You know, I kind of went through how I traded, really broke it down. I even cleared my charts for you guys because I love you all and can. And yeah, an example and then how to develop and a little bit in your face at the end to hopefully make sure you change and make a difference because I'd like to see more messages like Andre, some of the other people message me and say, look, I was in this rut and I changed because I didn't come from much. So if I can do it, you can. There's no reason you can't. All right.
Nice.
Hope that
Love
helped.
it.
Any questions, Cam?
Well, look, I mean, the only question is, mate, how can guys get hold of you?
Find me. Oh, so we have our YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow that now. I'm doing a 30-day series with completely free episodes from A to B. And then and you can find me on Telegram. Sorry, it's just noise from the lorry outside. But yeah, you can find me on Telegram as well, which I'm in Cam's group and I have my own one. So you can give me a shout.
Brilliant.
All right.
Cool. Brilliant. Oh, look, guys, first of all, Daniel, thank you once again for coming on the show again, third time lucky. And guys, if you do want to see more videos like these, the likes of Daniel in the future as well, then please hit subscribe, hit the little notifications bell as well, and click all, and you're going to get notified when these videos go live. So Daniel, once again, thank you for coming on the show, and everyone else, have a great day.